Now, hope you know the purpose of attending this session, right? Now, don't look at me like a magician, right? All that we are going to do for next probably 1 hour is little bit of testing of our common sense and little bit of application of our common sense. Now, in the sense, when I start talking about common sense, how many of you, before I get into this, how many of you have already given an attempt of civil services prelims? Acha, so technically, andaru baditule, antena, right? So I think all of us fundamentally know the pain of it. Now, considering the dimension of prelims examination, most of us think that prelims examination is very uncertain, right? Now, the fundamental reason is what happens is we depend too much on knowledge. I definitely agree that all of you are well prepared, right? And I definitely agree that each one of you may be a walking encyclopedia, or each one of you may be having abundance of knowledge, right? Just for quality, you would have read Lakshmikant, D.D. Basu, Subhas Kashyap. And if you still feel a void in your life, you would have definitely read Constituent Assembly debates. Kuch aise kiya hoga aap log definitely, right? Now forget about all of that. Now let's consider that our knowledge quotient at this moment is 0, right? That means we don't know anything about any subject. All that we will have to look at this particular dimension, and what we are going to operate for next 1 hour is just common sense, right? That means I want you to be as plain as possible, as flat as possible, as ignorant as possible. If you are as ignorant as possible, I think the session would become easy for me to start talking about common sense. Before I get into showing you the techniques in 2024 question paper, how many of you agree that there are something like techniques in prelims examination? Can somebody turn off this fan? Do you need these fans on the pillars? Not all, madam. E-pillar. Yes, right. Now, before I get into the techniques aspect, most of you are agreeing that there are techniques in prelims examination, right? Always remember that if I say prelims examination, one definite aspect that prelims examination has been always testing is basics. How strong is your basic? How strong is your clarity over the existing concept? One. The next immediate thing that your examiner tests you in prelims examination is how are you applying these basics, right? Now this basic element is what I would say that you need knowledge, and when I talk about application aspect, I would say that is where you need technique. And one more small misconception which most of the people generally have in this particular examination or in the stage of examination is we say, sir, we will have to be updated with current affairs, right? How many of you think current affairs are extremely important? Right? If there are no current affairs, for me, I will never clear prelims. How many of you think so? No. Achha, you can clear prelims without current affairs also. Pakka? Achha, theek hai. Now, how many of you understand that whatever question is asked in UPSC has a current affairs basis? How many of you agree with this? Inevitably. Fantastic. Now, you have to understand that when you look at some question paper like 2015, some question paper like 2016, or some question paper like 2017, you see that current affairs proportion has been very, very high. Now, if I have to put a little bit of stat in this, I would say there were roughly 26 questions from current affairs in 2016 paper. And on a later date, slowly what happens, UPSC started phasing out this current affairs and slowly started bringing something called as current affairs extrapolated static. In a sense, they're keeping the current affairs as a base and they're extrapolating and extracting static out of this current affairs. But one scary trend in 2024, if you understand, UPSC slowly started giving you the flavor of direct current affairs again. It was a trend which was absent for quite a while, that you did not find direct current affairs being asked till 2023. Except one question which was present in 2023 was with respect to some questions on sports. But one definite taste that UPSC has given from 2024 question paper is that it is talking about going back to current affairs again. When we say going back to current affairs again, what do I mean by going back to current affairs again? Now, for example, when you skim through the question paper, you would see that there were some questions like cultural heritage sites, or when you talk about UNESCO, intangible. Now, those are all what direct questions again appearing in the exam. Right? That is one definite flavor which UPSC wanted to give you, wanted to indicate. It simply means, I don't know how many of you actually diagnose these question papers. Every year UPSC makes a style statement with respect to its questioning. If you look at that 1 only, 2 only, 3 only was already existing in 2022. It gave a sample size of 1 only, 2 only, 3 only in 2022. It amplified that proportion in 2023. Again, it got back to 0 in 2024. Right? In the proportion of this 1 only, 2 only, 3 only reduced in 2024. One more observation that you have to make, that UPSC gave you an understanding about statement-based questions in 2021. I don't know how many of you are able to recollect. There was one question in 2021 about tree cities. Right? We know that Hyderabad has been declared as the tree city. That was the only question in 2021 which was given in the form of statement 1, statement 2. Then slowly you see that statement-based question was completely absent in 2022. Again, we see the emergence of statement-based questions in 2023 and 2024. Now that means, if you are very, very keen about this examination, if you are very, very keen about observing what is happening with respect to UPSC prelims, it gives you a taste about what is it going to be next year. Right? That means, I am not an astrologer to predict this. Right? I am neither doing that, or I am neither taking out my parrot to come out and say, Rama Chilaka Baitiki Vachi Cheppu em vastundi next year. Fundamentally, UPSC makes a style statement. And the style statement it has made for 2025 prelims is going back to conventional current affairs. Going back to conventional current affairs, going back to factual current affairs. So, I don't know whether for 2026 current affairs is important. But for 2025, definitely current affairs is important any given day. One. The second thing that you always need to remember whenever we are entering into prelims examination hall, you please take out your head and say to it, saying that whatever I studied is just basic. Why? Because I keep telling to the aspirants again, in a very, very common manner, that hardly 30 questions from knowledge. Hardly 30 questions from knowledge. What is happening to the rest 70 questions is, one is either it is a derivative knowledge. What do I mean by derivative knowledge? Derivative knowledge fundamentally means, on the basis of this basic, I am deriving something else. For example, in this question paper, question number 3 on volcanic eruption, you would see that the question on volcanic eruption, people started getting confused. And in that context, what happens? The only single word that it asked was pyroclastic debris. There is no rocket science which it has put, but it has just twisted and it has brought in one extra element. And in that context, what happened? People started struggling. The second element, what UPSC does, UPSC completely brings in an element of application. Now, what is happening in the context of application? All of us studied about National Green Hydrogen Mission. We were fantastically studying about types of hydrogen: green hydrogen, blue hydrogen, yellow hydrogen, grey hydrogen, black hydrogen. All the rainbow colors were there. But UPSC classically came out and said what is released from an hydrogen vehicle. And all of us started thinking hydronium. Right? Posh. Right? We started getting into the syndrome of complexity. When I say syndrome of complexity, it fundamentally means we think that something which is complex is correct. We think that something which is complex is correct. But UPSC goes on with a reverse psychology stating something which is simple is correct, but something which is complex is absolutely wrong. I would show you that across the question paper today. Right? So that is one simple understanding, that when it comes to my application, again, that is a business. So two things that you will always have to keep is my knowledge is just going to be my backup. That is my plan B. What is my plan A? Knowledge, on this basis, I would have to learn my application. Right? All of you who are giving in 2025 or anybody who is sitting in the class for 2028. No, right? Please, all of you are sitting in for 2025. So we would fundamentally have a prima facie understanding of what is happening with prelims. So the second dynamic is application. First dynamic is current affairs wala section. The third aspect that you always have to keep in mind if you have to somehow clear this examination is the choice of options. What 90% of us do, right, is we know 4 options. What do we do? Out of lot of calculation, right, doing integration, differentiation, fuzzy logic, right, applying your intelligence in the form of AI, everything you do, you select one option, fantastic. But after selecting this option, do you keep quiet? No. I don't know what happens when you, this is the question paper, fantastic, you are satisfied. Suddenly after selecting the answer, you look at the invigilator, you go to OMR sheet, and when you go to OMR sheet, you mark it as B. What happened in this transitionary phase? After coming out, if I ask you, why did you do this? Theriyadu sir. Sir, I don't know what is happening there. I know nothing. I saw the invigilator's face, sir. I changed the option, sir. My dear, you did not change the option, you changed your life here. Why? Because it is going to cost you 1 year and 3 such switchings. 3. It's not 3. 3 such switchings in the option will take away 1 year. Why? 6 marks, additional 2 marks, total how much? 8 marks gone. Now that means a person who is clearing, who is not clearing, what do you think is the margin? Maximum, the normal distribution curve is laying somewhere in this 8 marks. So the third aspect is be confident of what you choose. Now if you don't know whether what you have chosen is correct or not, the simple way to verify is apply some technique to verify. So that means, what is my whole of the basis today that I am telling is ensure that whatever you are supposed to do, you do before you enter the hall. One thing is basics, one thing is current affairs, the other one is be confident of what you are choosing at any cost. Now once you understand these basic dimensions, now let's get into 2024 question paper. If I qualify 2024 question paper without knowledge, will you agree with me that there are UPSC techniques in this? Will you agree? Let's have a challenge. Okay, let's देखते हैं इसको, right? See, one disclaimer is till 2023 I was using all of this in exam hall, right? 2024 I did not attempt because 2023 was my last attempt, right? Will they allow me? No sir, I will use elimination and come out sir. Hello sir. They said no, right? So Don't worry, all of these are and were used in definitely in the exam hall. Okay. Yes. Now I just want to look at the second question. Now when you look at the second question, my fundamental aspect whenever I am solving a statement based question, the rule of the game is very simple. First is I would check whether statement 1 is correct or wrong. Then I would go to statement 2, I would check whether statement 2 is right or wrong. Now, if both are right, then I would go to the third step in the algorithm looking at whether statement 2 is the reason for statement 1. Please be very, very clear with this particular direction. Please be very, very clear with this particular direction. I am not looking at statement 1 resulting in statement 2. No. I am looking at statement 2 resulting in statement 1. Right? So, one fundamental aspect that we have to remember here is, this is the algorithm that you need to follow whenever you are solving any statement-based question. Now, keeping that in mind, the thickness of the troposphere at the equator is much greater as compared to the poles. इसमें तो बहुत basic चीज है, right? Basic. At the equator, heat is transported to the greater height by the strong convectional currents. Now, my common sense is, in this particular diagram, what is happening? Something is being carried for greater height. Now that means what is happening? Forget about the subject, forget about my convectional currents. I don't know what is convection. Now if I have to solve this question, don't you think both the statements are in logical consistency? If something has to be higher than 1, it has to raise to a greater height. Very simple. Now that means what? In this, one simple understanding is, you know the process of convection, you understand the process, what is happening with the respective air mass at the polar region, what is happening with respect to the air mass at the equator. Fantastic. But if I still want to confirm my answer, I can say that both are logically consistent. That means, what do I say? I say this is the technique of toggling. What do I mean to say that this is a technique of toggling? That means, if one statement is right, the other statement has to be right. And that goes on in this particular statement 1 and statement 2 if you keenly observe. Now, if I consider the statement is wrong, inevitably the statement goes wrong. And in that context, do I have an option saying both the statement 1 and statement 2 are incorrect? I don't have an option of that. So it fundamentally implies both are correct and one is the reason for the other. Right? Now, look at question number 3 again. Now, I don't know why people were confused in that. Right? Always remember, now this is something which is natural. Right? Now, when something which is natural, is it in my control or is it out of control? It's out of control. I don't have any control over it. When it is out of control, can I control something which is being emitted from this? I can't. Don't you think anything which is out of control can emit anything it wants? Yes or no? Yes. I don't know whether sulfur is emitted, I don't know whether nitrogen, I don't know whether ash and dust, I don't know whether pyroclastic debris is being emitted. But I definitely know if UPSC has given something, and if something which is out of control which can emit anything, it must be emitting all of them. Now, no sir, I don't agree with pyroclastic material because pyroclastic debris is an intelligent option, sir. Right? Because that is very heavy, sir. Arey, my dear, pyro fundamentally means something which is related to heat. Something which is related to fire. Pyro. Volcanic eruption is which is related to what? Yes, here fire, there fire, together. Yes or no? Fundamentally yes. So one fundamental aspect is why were you speculating on pyroclastic debris? Instead, I know that pyro fundamentally means fire. Right? So that means what is the answer for this? All of the above. Now you see here, I am not joking, right? I am not joking. Same technique was applied in 2023 also. Right? In 2023, what was happening? There was one question regarding Congo basin. Okay? Where I was telling that we go for co. Hey, co. 2023 question paper also जाके देख लेने यार. There is one question with respect to which of the following is the largest cobalt. Which of the following countries have the largest cobalt deposition? There was only one option with cobalt, Congo. Cocoa. I am not doing any magic. This is my trend in UPSC. Although this might appear very silly, but if I was attempting 2024, I would have definitely gone for it. Why? Because this is nothing but what, my dear? This is nothing but Ivory Coast. That is nothing but Ivory Coast. Why did not UPSC give it as Ivory Coast and Ghana, but why was it supposed to give it like that? It would have given as Ivory Coast. It did not give it as Ivory Coast, but it has given it as something else. Why? Just for you to identify and play Coco there. That is Coco. Right? How many questions are? 3 questions. Count kar lena yaar. You see 7th question. You please tell me 7th question. Now rainfall is the one of the reasons for weathering of the rocks. Definite. Right? Why rainfall will have what, my dear? Water. Right? So definitely it will keep washing the rock and something happens. Rainwater contains carbon dioxide in solution. Yes. Yes or no? Obviously. Why not? I see number of gases, 4 gases existing in the top 4. What are the top 4? Carbon. O plus C. That becomes carbon dioxide. Tisra. Rainwater contains atmospheric oxygen. Can it contain? Yes or no? Why not? Why can't it contain, my dear? What is rainwater? Water. R should be rolling there. H2O. Right? That means can't it contain atmospheric oxygen? It can. So that means my logic here is 3 statements are right. But what are they asking you? They are fundamentally asking you both statement 2 and statement 3 are correct and both of them explain the statement 1. Statement 2 and statement 3 are correct, but only one of them explains statement 1. Only one of the statement 2 and statement 3 is correct and that explains statement 2. Neither statement 2 nor statement 3. I definitely know these two are not. Statement 2, statement 3 correct. Now see, statement 2 and statement 3 are correct and both of them explain the statement 1. Is it so? Is it so? Now don't you think in both of these statements, are they talking something about weathering process? Are they talking something about weathering process directly? No. Right? Now don't you think rainwater contains atmospheric oxygen? How does that can be a reason for this? Can it be a reason for that? No. They are saying it is containing atmospheric oxygen. I fantastically know that it is correct. But I definitely know that it does not have any role in weathering process. So that means what? Statement 2 and statement 3 are correct, but only one among the statement is the explanation for that. Are you understanding the logic? I am not using any subject at all. Any subject at all. How many questions are? Now let's see this. 11th question. Now you see 11th question. Now all of us or most of us are from southern states. इसका मतलब हमको तो पता है विजयवाड़ा कहाँ है. Half of us did not know how to pronounce this. It's a different issue, right? That is Doni, Polo, Doni, God knows what, whatever it is. छोड़ो उसको. In the recent past, which of the above have been constructed as a greenfield project? All that you need to know is greenfield project means what? Something which is constructed newly. But project which is constructed on the greenfield is greenfield project. That means I am clearing something green, I am acquiring the land, I am constructing it. Fundamentally means what? New. I have been hearing about this fellow. Yes or no? Yes. तीन को निकाल दो यार. What is the answer? 1 and 2. Arre. Yes. What did I use? I used my knowledge about my state. Yes or no? What is my knowledge upon my state? Because I know that Vijayawada airport has been existing. वो तो recent past थोड़ी ना है इसमें. Has been existing. Now when it has been existing, all that I will have to do is उसको निकाल. Is there any rocket science in this? Should I study current affairs to know which is green field, which is brown field, which is black field? What is the point? No point. Only thing that I need to know is I know that Vijayawada was there. Don't you think UPSC was also anticipating you to know that Vijayawada is already an existing airport? That is the option arrangement that it has given. Let's see again. Now look at this question. 12th question. Right? What is the 12th question saying? With reference to water vapor, which of the following statement is correct? It's a gas. Pakka. Right? The amount of which decreases with altitude. Right? बचपन में आप लोग देखा होगा और सुना होगा the pressure cooker वाला experiment. Right? You go to higher altitude, the boiling point will change, that will change, this will change. Why was it changing? Because the gaseous composition changes. And I definitely know as I move higher, the gaseous composition reduces. Right? That is one thing. So definitely it is a gas, the amount of which it decreases. It is percentage is maximum at poles. Now forget I don't know any knowledge. Right? One simple thing that I know is this is equator. And this is poles. As I move from this place to this place, I definitely know temperature decreases. Yes? Yes or no? And as I move from this particular place to the top of the mountain, temperature decreases. That means what is happening with the altitude happens a similar way with respect to latitude. Yes or no? Logic. Why? Because I know in my generalizations, in my geography class, I teach altitude mimics latitude. That means all the parameters which are changing with respect to latitude changes in a similar manner with respect to altitude. Yes. Now the first statement is telling that it is a gas, the amount of which decreases with altitude. This is correct. So along with the poles, it should be decreasing or increasing? Yes, this technique is what is understood to be mutually exclusive statements. When I say mutually exclusive statements, what does that mean? If one is right, other has to be wrong. If other is right, the one is wrong. That is mutually exclusive statements. I can never see both of the statements going together because both have a different tendency and trend which is existing. Right? So that is one simple understanding that you need to have with respect to this. Next. So how many questions of my dear? 5? 5 kiya, 6 kiya? 6. Okay. Good. Do you want to give me some bonus? 16 ko dekho. Now my favorite Congo, Coco came. Right? Now look at this. Right? Half of you are speculating it is current affairs. Yes, it is current affairs. Right? Brazil declaration, all of those were there. Congo basin, peat land, everything fantastic. I did not study that point. Now what I would want to use is I would want to use a technique called one out. Do you remember bachpan mein? Ball, bat, hockey stick, teddy bear. What is the odd one out? Teddy bear. Yes. Why? All three are sports item. This one is a gift that you give. Yes. Now look at this. Amazon basin. Where? Somewhere in South America. Rio. Somewhere in South America. Kikori. Chekori and a part of the winner. Yes or no? Kikori, Chekori. Somewhere in Central American region. Adundi. Where is this, my dear? Which is the odd one out? 3 Americans and 1 Africa. Right? And you always have to remember, Indian civil services has a diplomatic relation with African civil services. Why? Because in 2023 we had 8 questions on Africa. And this year UPSC is continuing that speculation saying that I love Africa. Right? Waka waka. Right? That is going on. So that means what is happening? Odd one out technique. Am I arriving at the answer? Yes. Sir, you are doing post-mortem, sir. This is cheating. Now let me tell you. If I was writing 2024 also, I would have used this. All of these were used till 2023 in the exam hall, and I cleared how many prelims? 6. तो इसका मतलब कुछ तो चल रहा है. There is some jadoo going on. Please understand this, right? Next. Fantastic. Look at this 17th question. Now half of us would give up. Why? Perfluoroalkyl and perfluoroalkyl substances. Lot of chemistry. Yes. Very basic. In perfluoroalkyl substances, I know there is something called as fluoro. Fluoro means what? F means what? Fluorine. And I know it is what matter it is? A halogen compound. Every year, UPSC has a question on halogen compounds. I don't know how many of you have observed the question paper. Now when you look at this, in fact last year there was one question on blowing agents, lubricants, aerosol. That was with respect to halogens. Every year we have one question. Right? Now when you look at this, forget about this. They are found to be widespread in drinking water, food and food packaging material. Now can you control something to be not present in food and water? Now just imagine you eat bhaji, you just ate bhaji and came to my class. I know. Newspaper, khar hai. Can you control the fluoride content here? Kuch bhi ho sakta hai. I can be there. I can see that. Are not easily degraded in the environment. Yes? Sir, how do you know, sir? How do you know? Do you know there is something called as Stockholm Convention? What is Stockholm Convention? It is talking about persistent organic pollutants. And in persistent organic pollutants, when you look at dirty dozen, all of the dirty dozen have the composition of halogens, either chloro, fluoro. Now anything which is having chloro and fluoro, if I am calling it as persistent organic pollutants, a pollutant which is organic but continues to persist, means is it degradable or not degradable? So this is right. Next, persistent exposure to PFAS can lead to bioaccumulation. Now don't you think 2 and 3 will definitely have to be together? Why? If it is not degraded, it accumulates. Now let's see. Do I have an option where 2 and 3 is together? Is it there? I only have 2 options where 2 and 3 are together. That means I am at my 50-50%. Now is the first statement so difficult to decide upon? What are we using? Basic. Am I doing some magic? No. What are we doing? Application. Did you observe that how did I derive that it is not degraded from the Stockholm Convention, from the persistent organic pollutant? Don't you think anybody who prepares for 6 months or 8 months will definitely read Stockholm Convention? If you haven't read Stockholm Convention in spite of preparing 8 months, you didn't prepare them. Yes? So fundamentally, the cross application is what is required in this particular aspect. Now let's see. This chodo usko. You see 21st question. This is my favorite question. Now some people are marking it as fish. Why fish? I see frog hopper, grasshopper. Frog hopper, grasshopper. Is grasshopper a fish? What is that? Why are you speculating on that? UPSC does this notoriously. In 2020, go back and refer. There was one question in the similar manner. In 2020, there was one question in the similar manner. In 2018, there was one question in the similar manner with respect to ransomware. In the question it asked, WannaCry. WannaCry was recently seen in news. Which of the following? I would only cry when there is an attack. Now, why do you think there are so many ransomwares? Why did UPSC pick up only WannaCry? Was its intention to make you cry, or was its intention to derive the answer here? Derive the answer. Right? So, how many are? How many are? 8, 9 questions we have cleared so far. Right? 8? Okay. I don't want to increase one question. Fine. Chewing gums. Right? This is that instrument which we use for attitude. Right? We don't have attitude, but when you chew, automatically that comes. Right? Now let's see. Many chewing gums found in the market are considered a source of pollution. Forget about pollution. They spoil my shoe always. Don't you think so? So automatically what? Pollution. Pakka. Many chewing gums contain plastic as gum base. I see this, definitely both statements are supposed to be correct. They are mutually consistent or inconsistent? Consistent. Now should I do research on chewing gums? Chumma, chew the gum and answer the question. Yes or no? Definitely, my dear. Now please understand, don't take prelims paper very seriously. All that I will have to do is keep a strong hold on my basics, apply. Now, prelims examination is all about what, my dear? Emotions. What happened? People were ready for 2023 kind of question paper. And people were ready with all the surprises. Yes, 1 only, 2 only, 3 only, none only, everything only. I was ready for all the surprises. But what did UPSC do classically in 2024? When you saw the question paper, what happened? There was no surprise. The biggest surprise of 2024 was no surprise in the paper. And because of which, what happened, my dear? We got excited. When we got excited, what did we do? We went for unnecessary marking. And when we went for unnecessary marking, we started going above 90. When we started going above 90, what categorically happened? More negatives. And that ate away our attempt. Always remember, knowledge, grip on basics, application. And application will only come with a cool mind. And for you to apply, do you think you can apply just directly in the exam? Will somebody come and tell you, yes, you apply this here? No. You would have to practice. Take the questions, take the PYQs and keep applying those dimensions. Right? So that is one fundamental aspect that you will have to remember. Next. Look at this question. Again, beautiful question. 24th question. Now people will start reading about World Toilet Organization. My dear, it is WTO. WTO is not World Toilet Organization. That is World Trade Organization. This is Toilet Organization. Now you don't do research on this, please. People do what to do. World Toilet Organization. इसमें इतना तो पता है, ये तो एक organization है, बस. दूसरा पता है, it is something which is related to toilet. तीसरा पता है, it is something which is world level, बस. It is one of the agencies of United Nations. Now let me put a point. If it was the agency of the United Nations, you would have heard it before only. Did you ever hear this apart from the question paper? We didn't. So automatically what happens? So that means what am I telling you? What I studied is correct. I studied everything. What I learned is correct. My knowledge base is strong. My basics are strong. Unless and until you have the belief, statements cannot operate. Right? First statement, eliminate. Next, World Toilet Summit, World Toilet Day, World Toilet Colleges are the initiatives of this organization to inspire action to tackle the global sanitation crisis. Fantastic. Inspire. A positive word. A positive word in the statement. Any positive word in the statement is fundamentally a right statement. Any positive word in the statement is a right statement. So that means second is correct. Now let me see the options once. I know one is not correct. I know two is correct. Now I am left with what, my dear? I am left with two only, two and three only. Now let's check. The main focus of its function is to grant funds to the least developed countries and developing countries to achieve the end of open defecation. Is it possible? Can you stop somebody from doing this? बताओ practically पूछ रहे. India में हुआ है स्वच्छ भारत. Is there no open defecation? No. Just when I was coming to this session, I see somebody standing on the road. What is happening there? Open defecation. Fundamentally, can I ever stop? What am I saying? End of open defecation. होगा क्या? नहीं होगा. और दूसरा लॉजिक ये है that when I am talking about funds, you see, those organizations which are starting with world will only focus on awareness, will only focus on policy making, but would never enter into the financial aspects. Would never enter into financial aspects. World Trade Organization, does it fund? No. World Economic Forum, does it fund? No. You might say, sir, World Bank lo bank undi. In World Bank, you have bank, that is why you have financial aspect there. Anything that is starting with world does not enter into financing and does not deal with finances. हो गया ना? अब आंसर क्या है? Yes. Do I need to know about World Toilet Organization? Do I need to do research on it? Do I need to be a volunteer of World Toilet Organization? I don't need to be. Right? Fantastic. Are you counting, my dear? Yes or no? Please don't cheat. Yes, I think more than 12 over. 10? No, you are reducing unnecessarily. Let's see this question. Right? Everybody was preparing with the cheetah, Kuno, Palampur, how many cubs it gave birth to. And everybody were like, I will keep the status of the cubs of the cheetah. So cute it is. Right? I was counting number of cheetahs brought from South African region. Where did they do? What is the truck number they brought in? What is the flight? What is the name of the pilot? Who was carrying all of this? But UPSC plays a classic drive asking an environmental perspective question on cheetah. Let's see. Lions do not have a particular breeding season. That is why it is the king of the jungle. I am the king. I don't need to have a season. Right? Whenever, I don't need to have a reason. Breeding. So king, child. Next. Unlike other big cats, cheetahs do not roam. You know this? You were studying about cheetah, but you didn't study this. You should know this. It cannot roam. Unlike male lions, male leopards do not proclaim their territory by scent marking. Who told you this? My fundamental logic. What do a dog do when you go and park your car? Dog. It marks its territory. Yes, that is scent marking. Don't you think it is logical enough for any animal to mark its territory? Yes or no? Yes. Now, unlike a male lion, male. Do you think male does not mark the territory? No. Right? Patriarchal country. चल रहा है. तो नहीं होगा यार, इसको तो निकाल दो, 3 को निकाल. And what is happening? Now, do I need to do research with cheetahs? Right? Should I go to Puno, Palampur and see Chuchu? He's so beautiful. Should I need to do that? I don't need to. Are you understanding, my dear? It is as easy as possible provided you open up your common sense. Now, the thought process when we are thinking in the exam has to be so plain, so common, so basic. That is why you see, you keep hearing, have you see this, do you see this felicitation ceremonies of the cricketers? Now, when they say, when the person who is asking the question, immediate answer you would definitely say, or you would see from the captain of a country, he would say, I always told my boys to stick to basics. I always keep telling my boys and girls to stick to basics. You stick to basics, prelims is yours. I am not having rocket science here. All that we are doing is what? Basics. Right? Next. Oh God. Such a beautiful question again. 26. Right? 100 million farmers. Me being me, what do I do? First, I will search for the word farmer in the option. Right? Farmer. No farmer. No farmer. Again, farmer. So I arrived with the probability of 50-50. In the go, behind a farmer, in the farmer. Why? Question is on farmer. So when question is on farmer, farmer should be there in the option. Respect of farmers. Jai Kisan. Respect. Now what I am having? I am having. What is the question saying? 100 million farmers. It's a platform for accelerating the transition towards food and water system that are net zero and nature positive, that aims to increase the farmer resilience. Resilience is an extremely positive word. Resilience is an extremely positive word. When resilience is an extremely positive word, I know that any specific usage of positive words may be the aspects of good governance, maybe the aspects of ethical base, maybe the aspects of ethical principles. I definitely know it is what? Am I struggling? No. Right? Next. Again. 2024 paper was so beautiful that it gave you an opportunity to qualify prelims without knowing anything. Who took stress? We took stress. Who gave stress? Nobody gave stress. Right? You please understand. How many of the above sources are distributed energy resources? What does that mean? The energy resource which is distributed. It fundamentally means what? I can say it is decentralized. Can I say this? Now see, battery storage. I can go decentralized. Biomass generator होगा. Fuel cell. अरे प्राइम इसमें भी है. Rooftop solar decentralized. Can I have the rooftop only to my room? I can. Decentralized. So how many? Easy. In such questions, do not unnecessarily speculate. The biggest problem most of us will have is what, my dear? The biggest problem most of us will have is the dimension of overthinking. That is a very, very big problem that you have. Right? Let's see again. The business doesn't end here. Today I will qualify prelims without knowing anything. I'll show you. Right? Look at 29th question. How many of the above have poisonous species? Right? Don't you think I can also be poisonous? Yes or no? One of you might be poisonous. Possible? Yes. I know only poisonous species is what? That is not given. This fellow, very clever fellow. Right? Butterfly can be poisonous. Right? Fish can be poisonous. Frog can be poisonous. Can you control the nature of a frog? Now you will say, sir, all the frogs I came across are so cute, they are beautiful, they are not poisonous. Can you say that? Don't you think somewhere in the corner of the world there can be a poisonous frog which can be born? Now tomorrow if they say, no, frogs are not poisonous, I will go in search of that frog. I will put a bill in Supreme Court and say, see, I have a poisonous frog. Fundamentally, what is the logic? Anything that is natural can never be controlled. Anything that is natural can never be controlled. Now all this is what we are natural. Volcanism में हमने apply किया इसको. Anything that is natural is what? Controllable or uncontrollable? Uncontrollable. We cannot control our own life. How will we control the nature, my dear? Come on. Right? Nature is, the magnitude of nature is something which is immense. See this? Beautiful question again. Consider the following. How many of the trees are actually native? Yes. How many are native? I definitely know not this. Yes. My basic history book says. I definitely know not this. Yes or no? If it was native, it would have been cheap. Is it cheap? No. Cashew, Kaju, Katli, right? Not so cheap. Definitely. What should come to you? Exactly. Right? Releasing now. Part 2. Eagerly awaiting. Native or not native? Why will Pushparaj, who is a person in a village, who is an illiterate fellow, will fight for something which is foreign? He is fighting for something which is native. Right? It is an endemic species. Forget about endemic. I don't know so much. What is the answer for this? Only one. Next. Let's see this question. Right? I always remember of a biscuit packet when I see this question. Let's see. Giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars. Giant ante enti? Something which is big. Yes? Dwarf ante enti? Something which is small. Right? Let's see. Compared to dwarf stars, giant stars have a greater rate of nuclear reaction. Now, what is my logic ticking here is, if something which is having greater rate of reaction, can it exist for longer lifespan or lesser lifespan? Lesser lifespan. Why? The material gets over fast. I definitely know that both of the statements cannot go together. Either one of these is correct. Now, when I say only one of these is correct, it is not option A, it is not option B. I am left with what material? I am left with C and D. That means statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is wrong. Statement 2 is correct, but statement 1 is wrong. In this, giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars. Now what happens? Now I know giant star means something which is big, and definitely something which is big is having more raw material or less raw material? More raw material. Yes. Now when I am having more raw material, what is happening here? When I am having more raw material, when the raw material is getting over fast, what is going to happen? Do you think, or let me put a logic very simple here. You have 2 biscuit packets, right? What do you do generally? When we were kids, what we used to do? When we have 2 biscuit packets, we eat off 1 biscuit packet very fast. Why? I have one more to enjoy. Now just imagine somebody gives you one biscuit. What do? You gulp it? No, you put it in your hand, you put it in the pocket, you eat bit by bit. Yes or no? We Indians don't lose this. Yes. Now that means, are we consuming it slowly or are we consuming it fast? Slowly. Something which is less is consumed slowly. Something which is more is consumed fast. So giant star, should it live for longer life or should it live for smaller life? Smaller life. I told you, 2 biscuit packets, 1 biscuit. वही तो चल रही. Giant star, dwarf star. Come on, my dear. Use all the principles that you can. You see this. Now let me tell you how does an aspirant operate this question. Right? In which of the following hydrogen used? Mark padalsindi. Right? Controlled drug delivery. Okay. Mobile air conditioning. Okay. Preparation of industrial lubricants. Okay. And suddenly he gets a question. What is hydrogen? Then when you didn't know what is hydrogen, why did you read? Yes. Now my simple application is it is some gel. What is gel? Gel. Yes, it is something which is soft. Hydro means what? Something related to water. Yes, obviously. Now, in this place of water, can I put in some drug along with the water? Yes. Right? Mobile air conditioning system. Yes. Cooling. Why? Water. Preparation of industrial lubricant, something which is lubricating. Yes or no? Why? It is gel. Do I need to know what is hydrogel? I don't need to know. All that I am operating is what? This is the technique of etymology. Break the word, split it, operate. Next. Your favorite question, my dear. Right? Which of the following is in the exhaust pipe? Exhaust pipe emissions from fuel cell electric vehicles powered by hydrogen. Wow. Right? Hydrogen. Fuel cell. I am a mechanical engineer. Come on. Right? Now look at these options. Which is looking posh? You tell me. Which is looking posh, my dear? Definitely. So most of you went for it. Why? It's hydronium. Now my simple common sense says hydrogen and there is some combustion reaction which is going on. What it will result in? What it will result in? Do you want me to balance this equation? Okay. 2H2O. 2. Fantastic. I balanced. Satisfied? What is it resulting in? What is happening? Very simple. You missed this question because you were overthinking. Let's see. 38th is my favorite again. 2024 is favorite. Right? Why? Because I did not write it. Right? Obviously. Yes or no? Yes. Recently, the term pumped storage hydropower is actually appropriately discussed in the context of which of the following question? Oh my God. Such a tough question. Yes, because so conceptual it is. Forget about concept. Power, energy. बस मारो बाहर आ जाओ. क्या चल रहा है इसमें? Power, energy, ताकत. आ जाओ. That is the answer. Yes. Yes. Now what is happening here? Whatever is in the question should be there in the option. Power is there. Energy is there. I get the energy now. Easy, my dear. Easy. Unnecessarily, what do you do? Lift irrigation, rainwater. Why are you speculating on it? It is categorically talking about what? Hydropower. Now, when it is talking about hydropower, it fundamentally means what, my dear? It fundamentally means something related to energy. Why do you miss this logic? Why do you miss this logic? UPSC gives you a clue in the option taking. Hey, Lilo. Hey, Ismail. See this. You are like, Ninjuda. Now, why, my dear? It is there. It is there. Next. Membrane. Right? I know that Bachpan say, I am drinking water from RO. What is RO? Reverse osmosis. In this, you would have studied the principle semi-permeable membrane. Membrane for what, my dear? Filtration. Do I need to do research in this? No. Reverse osmosis. Semi-permeable membrane. Membrane for what? Wastewater. Now, one fundamental beautiful doubt this person has asked. Sir, my focus is on bioreactor. Your focus is on membrane. Now, I would say that always focus on something which is simple. Bioreactor is complex. I don't know. Do I know bioreactor? I don't. I only know about membrane. Now, my fundamental focus of this examination and the way to solve all of this and show you, keep it simple and straight. Keep it simple and straight. Now, always remember, my dear, this is general studies or specific studies? General studies. In general studies, do you expect UPSC to ask something on excessive nature of biotechnology called as bioreactor? Now, that's a delicate mind. I don't know what is bioreactor. Can it happen? It can't. Keep it simple and straight. Focus. Next. Niche wala question I don't want to even solve also. Yes, please. Where there? Beautifully. Fantastic. Yes, that is the impact of the class. Yes or no? He derived his own technique now. What is the technique? Part 1 was all three bio, 1 non-bio. Yes or no? Reproductive bio, drug delivery bio, vaccine bio, this is non-bio. Beautiful, my dear. Yes? Very good. Next. Now you see this, my dear. 44th question. Now in 44th question, I don't know what is this, right? I only know this. Why? Because I use one. Right? Now let's see, which is the considered as a financial instrument, right? Can I say stock is a financial instrument? Can I say share is a financial instrument? Can I say some bond is a financial instrument? Now that means what is happening here, is it a tangible or intangible? Intangible. Motor vehicle. Tangible. Is it tangible or intangible? Tangible. So either I call this option as, or I call this technique as a clustering technique. Clustering. Both are intangible, but this is tangible. That means answer can be either 2 only, or answer can be 1 and 3 only. You see? 1 and 3 is there. It is not here. It is not here. It is not here. Are you understanding? I am arriving at the answer, called as clustering and clubbing technique. Yes? Yes. Right? Now look at this question, 46. Now look at 46th question. 46th question is talking about what? Consider the following statements. Which one of the following can be used as feedstock for producing sustainable aviation fuel? Yes. Now what is the word we're talking about? Sustainable. Right? Does it matter to me? Doesn't matter. I can produce anything from anything. Yes or no? Yes. Why? You see, residue, waste, waste. That means what is happening here? What is happening here? What is happening here? All these are residues, all these are waste. I can use waste to produce anything. Yes, because I don't know what is in the waste, so I can use waste for anything. Simple fun. Now, what is it talking about? It is talking about feedstock, fuel. Now, look at the UPSC. How is it playing? I know 1, 3, 4, definitely they are there. Now, because UPSC realized somebody like me is also attempting this exam. So, what it is saying, 1, 3 is there, 1, 3, 4 is there, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what is my fundamental understanding? I definitely know this has some content of anything that has a starch content can be used for fuel generation. So, the answer is what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Unnecessary speculation again. Don't do. Next. 48th question. Now, many people have marked this question wrong. I don't know why. I don't know why people made a mistake in this question. It is asking about which of the following words or phrases is most appropriately used to donate an interoperable network of 3D virtual that can be accessed simultaneously by millions of users who can exert property rights on virtual items. Fantastic. Big data analytics. Does it have anything to do with 3D? Cryptography, does it have anything to do with 3D? Now I am left between these two. Yes? Now if you are normally following news also, some interesting thing was happening with metaverse called as metaverse marriages. Right? Previously we used to have online wedding. Somebody is in US, somebody here. On Skype, that fellow used to put the ring. That side, the girl used to show the fingers. And see, I put virtual thing, it used to happen. After metaverse, you don't need anything like this. Now that means what is happening? I can even exert my property rights on something which is virtual. Now, if there was augmented reality in the option, it could have been tough. It could have, if it was virtual reality, the option could have been tough. But UPSC was very clear that I don't want to confuse my aspirants except what? Go with metaverse. Are you understanding in this? One key word that was given by UPSC was with respect to 3D. Right? Next. So far, how many questions did we finish? I saw 24. Out of how many questions? 50 questions. कितना मिल गया? 48. I still have 15 more. And in this 15 more, I know that till now I did not solve quality. Yes, our favorite subject. We have been reading Lakshmikant and probably we would write down Lakshmikant again. We are all experts. Till now I did not see my quality questions. That means I definitely know moving from 48 to 98 is extremely easy. Let's see, right? Probably last 15 minutes, right? And we would end this session. Now, in this, some interesting questions are there. Look at 53rd question again. Digital rupee. What is digital rupee? Rupee which is digital. Is a digital rupee. That means something which is online. It is sovereign currency issued by RBI in alignment with its monetary policy. Fantastic. RBI, rupee, I know the relation is correct. Right, next. It appears as liability on RBI's balance sheet. Definitely, if it gives notes or if it gives something, who is issuing it, my dear? RBI. The responsibility is on whom? RBI. Liability. Fantastic. It insures against inflation by its very design. How? Now just imagine, when there is inflation, what is happening to rupee value? It decreases. Very simple. Now, instead of having a note, I am having online note. Is the value changing there? It doesn't change. So that means, is it logical? I am only changing the form, I am not changing the value. When I am changing the form, does this change? Impossible. Next, it is freely convertible against commercial bank money in cash. That is the purpose of getting digital rupee. I am fundamentally focusing upon sewerage. But what about sewerage concepts with respect to economy? That is where I am focusing upon. So what is happening? 1, 2 and 4. I don't even need to struggle with this. See, beautifully UPSC has given an option. Yes. Next. Now 56th question, I will not even read the question. Why? Krishnadeva Raya. I know Krishnadeva, Gandhiji, European Union, Akbar, all these people, when they are there, we should first do namaskar and silent. Why? Because that is one bit which is definitely correct. It is in your pocket. It is there. And that is definitely correct. Right? Now I will read the question for your satisfaction. Let me see. Who of the following rulers of the medieval India gave permission to the Portuguese to build a fort at Batkal? Oh, Krishnadeva. Fantastic. Right? Easy. Right? Enjoy the paper when you solve it. Look at 58th question. There are no parables in Upanishads. Now what are they saying? Upanishad is a repository of knowledge. Can something not be there in Upanishad? Impossible. Impossible. Repository of knowledge. And can something not be mentioned in Upanishad? Niyoga. Kathopanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, so many, Chandogya Upanishad, Sveteshwara Upanishad, so many are there. Expanse of knowledge. Upavishyati iti Upanishad, Uposhyati iti Upanishad. That is what is the fundamental understanding with respect to Upanishad. Then Upanishads were composed earlier than Puranas. I definitely know. Yes or no? Do you know this? You don't know this. How come? Puranas were during whose period? Guptas. They came in AD or BC? AD. And definitely already some BC went on, no? It should have been there. Yes. So answer is what? Don't know. Next. 59th again. Now you see, India is member of International Grain Council. Manam tinene grains. We eat grains. And ours is what? We know we are definitely the leading country with respect to exports of food grains. Highest country, 2019 PYQ. And I definitely know we are the second largest producers of food grains in the world. So I would definitely be something related to grain. I will be a member. A country needs to be a member of the International Grain Council for exporting or importing rice and wheat. Now you can't tell me to do something. I am an independent country, sovereign country. Now, International Grain Council is telling, please export wheat, don't export rice. You can't tell me to do what I am supposed to do. And that too to a country like whom, my dear? India, which is a leading producer of food grains. One simple generalization, nothing can be binding with respect to an organization which is a council. An organization which is a council can never be binding. If I say this is binding, they are saying binding. I am having a binding jurisdiction there. I can't have it. It is a question of my sovereignty. It's a question of my sovereignty. Next. That you know, my dear. You look at this question, 67, right? My favorite question. Why? Question on population. Definitely, it's my favorite topic. You see, which of the above countries are frequently mentioned in the media for their low birth rates or aging population or the declining population? I definitely know something from Africa can never have declining population. Yes, can have. Impossible. So that means in the option 3 and 5 should not be there, or should it be there? Should not be there. Let's see, will I get the answer? I should get the answer. Yes. You see the question. 3 should not be there. 5 should not be there. 3 is not there. 5 is not there. Now I am left with what? 2 and 4? 1 to 4. Let's see what is 1 there. I know. I have been listening. Why? European countries are aging. European countries are aging. When I know that European countries are aging, I definitely know Italy is part of Europe. Yes. If you still want some specification, we see there is some blue zone concept which is going on in Italy and which is going on in South Korea and Japan. What are these blue zones? In the blue zones, what do you observe? The chronological age of an individual is more than the biological age of an individual. What does that mean? The person looks much younger than his age. Right? Those are what are called as blue zones. There's a lot of research which is going on with respect to holistic wellness from those centers. Right? Now you look at 66th question. I never know why UPSC framed this question. Just observe. Amend. Amend means what? Change. Add means change. Variation. Change. Repeal. Change. Do I need to read Article 368 for this? Or needed? What is the answer? 1, 2, 3. There are so many questions like this. I am not even solving quality questions. Should I solve? They are direct. Delimitation Commission, these and all, they are like direct. Let's look at 75th question. Many people were confused with 75th. While look at the options, interstate trade and commerce is a state subject. They are telling interstate, how can it be state subject? Can it be? Illogical. Inconsistent statement. Interstate migration. How? Interstate quarantine is a union subject under union list. I don't know. Right? I should not touch it. Corporation tax is a state subject. What is the answer? Why were people confused in this? The biggest problem why people were confused in this, people were trying to choose the right answer, but you should eliminate the wrong answer. Don't select the option in this question, but eliminate the wrong option, you'll arrive at the right answer. Simple, right? Next, right to privacy, put the Swami, right? Next. All this, right? Easy questions. This question, right? Longest border, longest option. Longest border, longest option. Option in the Petrogundante, border in the Petrogundante. Don't you think so? Yes. Definitely, my dear. Do you think UPSC doesn't know this? It expects you to use this. You don't use it, you don't know it. You don't know it, you don't get it. You don't get it, you don't clear. Very simple. Right? Next. Look at 81st parallelly only here. Consider the following statements. Consider the following statements regarding Nari Shakti Vandan Abhiyan. Now when you look at this, provision will come into effect from 18th Lok Sabha. When did 18th Lok Sabha happen? Avi chal raha hai? Did we have reservation? Babu, you went for voting or not? Yes or no? Remove this. Right? Now let's see. UPSC is so kind. I am not even reading other statements. When you see the question, all of you will think, yes, I have by-hearted the provisions of the bill. I will apply all the provisions. Some people who did not read will think, I did not read the provisions. The person next to me in the study hall was reading. I should have peeped in, but I didn't peep in. But what happened? That fellow studied. I didn't study. He will put the question correct. I will put the question wrong. Nobody can put it wrong. If you're putting it wrong, gone. Play on the options. You're not playing. UPSC is asking you to play on the options. Right? Next. Now, those are all very, very basic questions. I don't want to solve them. You see 88th question again. 88th question is telling that sound pipeline is a strategic route from Persian Gulf to Europe. Right? I don't know what is this. I just know it is pipeline. Means line of pipes. That's it. Nothing more. Next. Sound pipeline connects the Red Sea with the Mediterranean. Consistent or inconsistent? Consistent. Are you understanding this? UPSC gives you a clue again. UPSC gives you a clue again. Look at this question. Parallelly, we'll finish this. There is an instability and worsening security of the situation in Sahel region. All that you need to know is the Sahel region is in Africa. And they are saying what? Worst condition. Should somebody tell? Children. That is what going on. So I know this is correct. There have been military coup in several countries of the Sahel region in the recent past. I definitely know somewhere in Africa every year one or the other military coup will be there. Do I need to bother about Sahel region? No. Why? Because it is telling there is already instability there. Instability means something is going on. Both the statements are right? Yes. One is the reason for the other. Look at 92nd question. Basic. Now people started doing research on apples. Right? People started doing research on apples. Do we need to do research on apples? Question number 2. India does not import apples from US. Who said? When you eat apple, have you seen a sticker on it? From USA. USA is what? United States of America. If they are saying from USA, are we importing from USA or not? Yes. Statement 1 to make. You see the statement 1, what is happening here? Sorry. This, right? Statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2 has to be right. I don't even have to speculate anything there. This question. Environmental Protection Agency, which of the following is the largest source of sulfur? Right? Locomotive using fossil fuel, shipping using fossil fuel, extraction of metal from ores, power plants using fossil fuel. What is one fundamental understanding? 60% of our energy is from fossil fuel, and the dominant is from whom, my dear? Coal. What is the characteristic feature of Indian coal? High sulfur composition. So automatically answer is what? Power plants. Right? Very simple. Next. Look at 93rd question. I don't know why people were confused. With reference to Speaker of Lok Sabha, consider the following while any resolution for the renewal of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha is under consideration. Forget. Forget. He shall not preside. I don't know. He shall not have to right to speak. Babu, forget about speaker. Can anybody stop you from not speaking? Indians, that too in parliament, impossible. Remove to Gaya, 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 aa gaya. It's gone. Now, why were we speculating? We were trying to recollect the page on the speaker in Lakshmikant. We were trying to test our photographic memory. And we were trying to see, yes, left side corner, upper, first line, this is there. This is not there. I am unable to recollect the third line. Tension. No tension. Tension enduku dandaga. Techniques undaga. Easy. Right? Absolutely. 97th question is the last one. Now you see, recently Venezuela has achieved a rapid recovery. Can recovery be rapid? If it is rapid, can we call it as recovery? Yes or no? Now just imagine, one of you had an accident. Can I have rapid recovery? Impossible. Recovery is always time taking. Recovery is sustainable, which is time taking and which is slow. And automatically what is happening? Are you understanding? Was 2024 paper easy or tough? Easy. Now you say it is easy. How many questions did I solve? 40. Approximately 40 without quality. Now with quality, Manlo plus 15. I'll get no one. 55. How much it is turning into? 110. Did I clear? Happily clear. Cleared forest service, exactly. Are you understanding, my dear? I am not showing you something which is out of the blue. I did not teach you elimination techniques as elimination techniques. How did I teach you? Common sense. Common sense. Now, what are we doing? Is it going to happen in one particular dimension? No. All that you have to understand is there is a process of building this. There is a process of building this and we need to slowly build it over a period of time. This cannot happen out of the blue. Right? Hope you all of you know that I run a prelims program called as High Impact Revision Program, and which is a program for 40 days. Right? This is the third season that I am running High Impact Revision. If I have to just give you a sample of it in 2024, from 2024 High Impact Revision, we had more than 100 students clearing prelims. That is last year. Right? So we have come back with a new batch again in 2025 for 2025 prelims. This is a 40-day program where I would be handling all the GS subjects along with PYQs, along with elimination techniques. CSAT will be handled by Surya Teja. Right? He is an Indian Forest Service officer, All India rank 66 in 2022 Indian Forest Service examination. He would be handling CSAT for all of you. We would be finishing CSAT in that particular program tentatively by December 5th. The program is starting on November 20th. We will be finishing CSAT by December 5th, and we will be finishing general studies by January 5th. So by January 5th, you would have a consolidated notes for prelims examination 1. And if I have to tell you the strength of the notes, last year 40 plus questions came from the notes directly. And you please understand, coming from the notes does not mean president there, president here, it came. No. Verbatim of the questions. I am talking about the verbatim of the questions. The convergence document is being displayed. You see that we have 40 plus questions coming from the notes, roughly 300 pages notes, elimination techniques, memorization techniques, mapping sessions, and towards the end, 45 days before the examination, we have 5 days current affairs program as part of this. And that means we would be revising all the current affairs of 1.5 years in 30 hours. And you have 12 sectional tests which you can attempt as part of this particular program. And you have 1 full-length test which you can attempt as part of this particular program. 12 GS tests, 4 CSAT tests. All of these are part of high impact revision, which is definitely having a very, very high impact. I just showed you. Yes. And he is the testimonial for that. Because he by himself was able to derive a elimination technique spot on. Right? So, if you have any doubts regarding prelims examination, you can definitely contact me, and this is my contact number, right? You can definitely contact me, and if you want my Telegram ID, this is my Telegram ID. And by the way, my name is Gautam, right? At KS Gautam, that is my Telegram ID. You can message me on that. And for further updates regarding prelims examination, you can join RC Reddy IAS Study Circle Telegram group, and this is my Telegram group. You type it in caps, you get it, mastering answer, right? That is my Telegram group and RC Reddy IAS Study Circle. You can join both of them to get further updates, right? So hope to see all of you for further sessions on prelims by me, right? And I definitely wish, right, if you are part of my journey, if I am part of your journey or not, it's a secondary thing. I definitely wish all of you clear 2025 prelims examination and write mains 2025, right? My best wishes. Any question, any query, if you have some doubts, I can definitely address them. How much high impact program useful for repeaters? Like already gave 4 attempts. I should tell you a success story of last year high impact revision there, right? I had a candidate who had given her 6 prelims. She did not qualify 6 prelims. She joined HIR. I am not exaggerating, right? I am not exaggerating, with all the integrity with the profession that I do. She wrote her 7th prelims in 2024 and she wrote her mains in 2024. That means in her 7th attempt, she wrote first mains. And I have people writing first mains in her 5th attempt, 4th attempt, 3rd attempt, 1st attempt. And I can definitely tell you, HIR has a role in that. I will not have 100% role. No teacher can have 100% role. But definitely 50 to 60% role is HIR. Right? That is definite. Is there any possibility of getting HIR notes? Right? If you want, I will upload. Don't worry. And I would upload after the exam. After May 25th, I would upload. Come on, my dear. Right? I do things for free, but not this free. Right? You have to understand it is a program, and the heart and the soul of the program is in the notes of the program. Right? And fundamentally, you have to understand that in the second class of the program, I put a condition with respect to my notes. If you want to listen to the condition, you will have to join HR. Right? Next. It is definitely useful, my dear, for those who have already given 4 attempts. I would say, please come and join. I generally don't tell this for any program, but if you are already given 4 attempts and you did not qualify prelims even once, please do this. Please do this for this, because I have stories like this. I have stories like this, not one, not two, multiple. Right? Sir, can we apply such techniques in any paper? You want to openly challenge some question? There. I will attempt. 2023, 2022, 2021, 2019, 20, whichever year you want. Year Erina technique okate. Remember that. Right? Rock solid, my dear. This is not magical wand. Common sense. The way I approach the exam is like this. I do this, it is easy. I don't do this, it is not easy. Right? Because all till now you were thinking about knowledge, but I was able to solve 40 questions with rudimentary knowledge, not even complete knowledge. Right? So is there any program for mains? After high impact revision in the prelims, we have strategic revision program for mains. This year also we conducted for 2024 mains, results are yet to be out. In 2023 strategic revision program, we had 8 rankers. They were part of this program and they got rank. Right? Next, what are the prerequisites for, sir, completely new camp, this session help me. I am from life sciences, probably yes, definitely. Prerequisites for attending this course is what? Basics. Basic sources has to be read once, and maybe once you read those basic sources, this course would be more helpful to you to a larger extent, right? Any others? Right? If there are no other questions, that's it from my side. Right? Thank you. Hope to see all of you in the HR program. If okay, if not, at least in the mains list. Right? Thank you.